again, we are back on Egmont Soch Talk Train of Thought with a series of an episode with Mr. Virendra S. Gupte, who is a consultant, corporate trainer, and the company director. In fact, he has been there with Tata International Limited for 37 years. Of the practices in Tata's, when we talk in terms of best practices, business excellence, everything is out over there. We had our last episode talking in terms of business ethics. Sir, welcome to ttalk Egmont Soch.
Thank you.
We had a great insight in all the episode in terms of understanding the basic ethics which are there. Now, when we talk in terms of like following those kind of an ethical practice which are there was a survey which was conducted by KPMG. It shows that 20% of the respondents still lack having a monitoring process of assessing the compliance to the code. So how one can implement that?
Yeah, I guess this is true as a reality because the intention to drive the whole process of ethics, values and integrity will vary from country to country, organization to organization. But if you ask me, the genesis is basically the leadership mindset. So they may be promoters, startups, entrepreneurs, business leaders, incubators. What are their value systems? And it percolates from there. So when you look in the Indian context, the mindset of Azim Premji, for example, when he's or Narayan Murthy, for example, and there are umpteen examples of such founders, leaders within our country and outside. It percolates from there. Because if their value systems are absolutely non-negotiable when it comes to lapses in trust, integrity, ethical compliances,
Correct.
then the entire organizational foundation is based on those very strong roots.
Correct.
That foundation is strong based on ethical value systems. And then it will be non-negotiable in that sense, because as leaders, thereafter they will walk the talk, the tone at the top matters, and therefore that will percolate down the organization. So you will have two type of scenarios in the world. In one scenario, you will have subordinates going to their leaders, superiors, and crying on their shoulders that a particular task is not done, or there are obstacles in the way, or there are some impediments in the way. And the seniors will say, okay, I don't care. You beg, borrow or steal and get the work done.
Correct.
So the message is loud and clear. And whereas there will be another scenario in an organization where you will be told that you please follow the rule book, the policies, the procedures, which may entail delays, also frustration. It may also be mentally, unsettling that you are following up for certain approvals, for example. But that is the path which is not a bed of roses. And therefore, it is for the organizations to decide that what means do you adopt to achieve an end.
Correct.
And therefore, I am not surprised with these reports. So it's not only KPMG, but there are other global reports which are now available in public domain, where the conclusions are something very similar, that the organization ecosystem is either obstructive or cynical or septic about driving ethics and values. And then ultimately it depends on as I said, on the founders, the leaders, the promoters, etc. How do they want to take that journey forward? And to my mind, there are some easy shortcuts in the short term, but in the long term, your market reputation is sullied by your unethical behavior. And today, I think that is the most important test or a barometer, or the litmus test, is how does the community look at the organization. For example, Dr. Chima, you are a brand expert. You spent your working career in working in diverse organizations, handling products, services, etc. And therefore, today, in a world where knowledge, where the knowledge is available across, consumers and customers are also sensitized to product and services which they will buy and patronize. And to my mind, the value systems of a consumer customer if they resonate with the value systems of the organization, then to that extent, I'm sure seamless, spontaneous buying will happen. And therefore, just to give an example, let us say a company or which promotes a particular brand. That brand has got a huge amount of respect in the marketplace because the company stands for certain values. For example, they are equal opportunity employer. They believe in inclusiveness. They are the ones who are doing very, demonstrated authentic amount of engagement in the community, which has created, let's say, societal impact. To give an example, in our own organization in Tata International, in our leather ecosystem, we are nurtured, considering that our factories are in places like Devas and they're in Chennai, also in the outskirts, etc. We have a lot of engagement with the community in terms of schools, more importantly in terms of skill building. So therefore, we nurtured girls in particular in terms of training them in leather manufacture, right from stitching and so on. Maybe elementary type of tasks. Because women are very, very dexterous in terms of stitching and so on. So we have been able to run those programs and created center of excellence where we employed girls from the rural communities. And matter of pride for me to narrate here is we had run a shoe plant, especially those which is that is dedicated to manufacturing of women's shoes, which was entirely manned by women employees, right from shop floor level to the supervisor to the plant head.
So everything was managed by them.
Yeah. So therefore, the message that goes across the world, especially to your customers, and customers, when we talk to them, we say that look, this product is manufactured entirely by the women team, right? And that is a sense of pride.
Sense of pride, yeah, correct.
Okay, and therefore the customer also is he is beholden in a way.
Yes, yeah, correct.
And I think this is the same. There are many such examples, not only in our company and the group, but also in other companies.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, in Kirloskars, also there is a plant where they manufacture compressors or pump sets, I guess, which is again run by women entrepreneurs, women workforce.
I see.
So therefore, there are such similar examples.
Good.
And I think the women empowerment part is one manifestation of that.
Yeah.
And if these stories, therefore, are read and by the people at large across the world, that is where the respect comes in.
Good. And sir, many times we will see since there is a conflict of an interest, interdependence, and the diversity which fairly is prevalent, to the third party evaluation or the peer review of an individual so what the leadership needs to do under those circumstances? Is it more towards the transaction aspects, or what's the view on that?
See, these are basically the operational aspects of how you drive your value systems and that you will be considered as a trustworthy organization of high on integrity in terms of compliances, practices, good governance. So therefore, if that is your mission, okay. So therefore, you will create an ecosystem which is conducive to that, ecosystem. In terms of ensuring that you have those type of customer, supplier, vendors. You will have third parties or auditors, for example, will audit your processes. So whether it is ethics related or social accountability related, and so on. At the end of the day, there has to be, an alignment of all your partners. Okay, in terms of what your deliverables are, that you do your business in the most righteous way, in the righteous manner, and you don't cut corners, you don't compromise. Like for example, product quality, okay, commitments to your deadlines in terms of delivery schedules, payment to your suppliers, etc., or being very truthful in terms of your accountability and transparency levels to governments or regulators. In a way, you are an organization which is you don't have anything to hide, right? And therefore, if you look that if this is something what you want to achieve, it is possible way to do it. On the other hand, it is easy to cut corners.
Good.
It is easy to dilute your commitment levels. You can doctor your reports, including your financial numbers. Enough examples and evidences are available in the corporate world.
What happened to Satyam?
What happened to Satyam? What happened to many corporate frauds that happen. So
Correct.
Enron is an example.
Correct. Enron, like.
So in India, for example, there are umpteen examples where you have in public life this type of lapses happening. In the corporate world, it is very widespread
Good.
and very endemic.
Good.
It's also in the world of sports. So whether it is performance enhancement drugs taken by an Olympian, for example,
Correct.
or any allegations of bribery, corruption.
Mhm.
Okay, the Indian cricket underwent matters relating to IPL scams in terms of match fixing, for example,
Correct. Correct.
where the Supreme Court had to intervene to clean up BCCI's governance
Mhm.
in appointing that Lodha committee, for example,
Correct,
and so on. So there are umpteen number of such examples.
Mhm.
What is important, therefore, is that amidst this type of mess and these type of lapses, etc., which will always happen.
Mhm.
Okay, wherever human mind can work either ways,
Correct.
right? So therefore, at the end of the day, it is about the sanskars, the value systems of your organization,
That's right.
and that matters. And therefore, you will, if the organization is on that path of righteousness,
Mhm.
then I think everything will fall in place. Of course, the flip side of the story is that there will be a lot of pain and agony as well,
Correct.
in terms of some shortcuts which may help you to gain some business opportunities,
Good.
right? But then at the end of the day, it is about a sustainable business model of a company,
Conscious,
number one. Number two, the marketplace reputation
Mhm.
which you will earn, basically the respect of the community around you.
Mhm.
And those are the long-term gains for a company
Good.
in a consistent manner.
Mhm.
Okay. And I think that is where the company will reap the benefit over a period of time.
Good, great. I think it's a great insight given by Mr. Virendra S. Gupte as far as ethical practices which are concerned, and I'm sure like the corporate they follow those kind of ethical practices and the value system which are imbibed. I think that's pretty important, and it's a great insights given through his experience by being in Tata International for more than 37 years and more working towards the trade services and chief ethic counselor. And I'm sure who can be the right person than Mr. Virendra Gupte on our ttalk Soch show. If you like this particular episode, go to www.ttalk.net, subscribe, like the channel as much as you can. Do catch up with Mr. Virendra S. Gupte on our next show of a ttalk Soch. Till then, thank you very much. So thanks a lot for
Thank
your time. Thank you very much.
Pleasure. Thank you.